Every 4 years, there's a contest to find out who will be America's next top Republican.
Will it be Newt Gingrich,
The professor,
Herman Cain,
the CEO,
or Rick Perry?
the true believer.
Rick Perry says less is more.
Lots of politicians promise smaller government, but Perry's followers say that he's the real deal.
For starters, they say he's from a place that has less. Perry was born in 1950 in the dusty little town of Paint Creek. There wasn't much money and he bathed on the back porch.
We weren't rich in material things, but we were rich in faith and family. Paint Creek was a wonderful little place.
This was Texas, where catching a fish with your bare hands was a crime.
Childhood was 3 things: school, church, and Boy Scouts. Perry went to college at Texas A&M, which was more or less an all-male military academy at the time. He joined the cheerleading squad as a yell leader.
Might sound strange, but this was a pretty big deal. And surprisingly, it helps put him on the path to potentially become America's next top Republican. Journalist Paul Burka explains.
For the first time, he was in what would have been a leadership position. And he developed a toughness and a discipline that are probably his strongest attributes.
After cheering in college, Perry made more noise flying cargo planes for the Air Force, and in 1984, he won his first election as a state representative, as a Democrat.
He left the party a few years later when he saw a chance to move up as a Republican. He ultimately became lieutenant governor, and when George W. Bush left the governor's mansion for the White House, Perry moved in.
Perry is one of the country's most religious and socially conservative governors. He has launched lawsuits against Washington. He calls most scientists who study climate change liars, and he challenges federal authority on issues from taxes to civil rights.
Burka says a President Perry would probably set his sights on entitlements. Governor Perry has called Social Security a failure and a Ponzi scheme for starters.
He would turn back the clock. He would take America back to where there was basically no safety net. I don't think he believes in the safety net.
So what does he believe in?
America's right to bear arms, even in a speeding helicopter. Yes, he made it legal to hunt wild boars from the air. After all, he's the kind of governor who would shoot a coyote while he's out jogging. In fact, he actually did shoot a coyote while he was out jogging.
Catching giant catfish with your bare hands, also called noodling? Well, Perry made it legal.
And these days, Texans have less time for noodling because in recent years, Texas created more jobs than any other state.
But Texas is also one of the worst off states when it comes to poverty, health insurance, and education.
This former Aggie is still a yell leader of sorts, and people are listening.
Perry is what the Republicans have been waiting for. He is the real deal.
And get this, Rick Perry has never lost an election. But then again, he's never tried to become America's next top Republican.